Most of my life, I was much heavier than I am now. But there was a time when Anthony Bourdain visited a palazzo I have in the south of Italy in the region of Basilicata. And it was filmed, and I was part of it. I was there. My granddaughter was there. And I tell you, I looked like a whale. And I looked at myself in this Anthony Bourdain segment, and all I could see was the enormity of myself. And I said, well, I have got to do something about that. And
how long ago was this?
this was, about 4 years ago,
Yeah.
I guess, five years ago.
Maybe, yeah.
And he passed away since then. And, my wife was very petite when I married her, and she was through the 60 years of our marriage. And she was always telling me, you got to do something about your weight because, it's a life threat. We all know you don't see many 300-pound, 85-year-old men walking around because they don't survive. So seeing myself so gigantic, I went to a wonderful place that existed in North Carolina, part of the Duke schools. It was the Duke Fitness Center, and it wasn't really a spa. It wasn't like you go there and get pampered and get massages and stuff. It's more like going to college and taking your major in health, so that you're taking courses in nutrition, in psychology. There's a lot of psychological reasons why you might be obese. Your culture, your family, what your traditional food is of your. In my case, I'm Italian American, so there's a lot of pasta and pizza, and it was a fabulous experience. I was there almost 4 months. And had a very interesting system. Well, you learn a lot about the different food groups and what they contribute and the balance between them. And then you sort of decide what your caloric intake is going to be. You yourself say, well, I'm gonna live on 2,000 calories or 1,800 calories, whatever it is, and you make your own menu a week before, and you say, you see the options, and you make your menu, and then you hand it in. And when you hand it in the next week, when you go for your meals, because you all eat together with the other people in the program, they give you exactly what you had specified. And you can't say, well, give me a little bit more of that or a little of this, and instead, you can't fudge with it. You did it, and you have to stick to it. And so you become accustomed to what you have decided is the sensible, and you have advice. I mean, you have a balance of elements. And basically, you start, at first you lose a lot of weight because most of it's water. And then you start traditionally losing weight. And then over what was 4 months, I lost about 45 pounds and continued. And this is also in cahoots with an exercise. So part of the day you do exercise, part of the day you go to classes, part of the day the psychological aspects are very interesting because there's some logic of why you might keep yourself overweight that you never may have considered. There were people there who were over 400 pounds. And it was so heartbreaking because you know that they're not going to live. And they're prisoners of this addiction to eating.
The interesting thing is that this was 5 years ago, that you haven't gone off it. Is that your discipline, do you think? Or is it that?
There's more to it than that. The human being is a marvelous creation, as you can imagine. And when you lose a lot of weight suddenly, your body thinks you're dying because traditionally rapid weight loss happens because you have some illness or you have some condition that's causing it. So the body does anything it can, and it has a lot it can do to get you to put that weight back on. So it manipulates your metabolism so you start gaining weight. So most people who lose a lot of weight and comment about it on how they suddenly start gaining it back again. So what you have to do when you lose a lot of weight, you have to just keep it off for 3 years. And then you reach a point, if you can manage to keep the weight off for 3 years, it sort of stabilizes and it becomes the new level. And that's what I did. So now it's been 4 or 5 years, but it's a struggle. I love to eat.
Yeah, I always think that if you deny yourself, sometimes if you say no to food, sometimes you're saying no to just being there. the pleasure of table and talking to friends and being with them. So it does take a lot of, but you can eat very, very well. I said to you a few minutes ago, it's not how much you eat, but I just want to make sure that you're eating good food.
Yeah, but aside from that, look, I've been in the food business and the wine business, and I'm happy to talk about the similarities between the wine business and the hotel business and food business with the film business.
Making a movie,
Yeah, because there are many similar parts of it. But we have a lot of needs and appetites. And unfortunately, food and alcohol are one that have been commercialized the most. And there are fortunes made in food and drink, both in quality food and drink and in junk food, as they call it. So that, you're constantly being pitched to have, let's have lunch.
Yeah.
Let's do lunch. Let's celebrate. Well, this is going to be Thanksgiving. We're going to have the big Thanksgiving dinner, or this is the big Christmas dinner. We're going to have plum pudding. So most of our celebrations are tied into something that's connected to other people, the business they're in. So, I looked at all of the pleasures that we have, and I realized that of the many pleasures that I used to overindulge in, really the only two I'm allowed to do now, which I can do as much as I want, and it has no bad result, is learning. Learning is a great pleasure. And you can do that without limitation, and you get no bad reaction. If you drink too much, you get sick, and it will be not good for you. If you chase ladies too much, your wife will get mad and abandon you. If you eat too much, you'll get obese and die. But you can't learn too much, and you can't listen to music too much. That they don't have a payback unless you listen to music too loud. But you can listen to music all you want and not pay the price, and you can learn all you want. And so, basically over the last 5-6 years, since I really lost a lot of this weight, I became an incredible reader. At night, I always have a book on my bed waiting for me, my companion.
What are you reading now?
I'm actually reading, how do you pronounce it? A lot of stuff I read I can't pronounce. The Greek, ancient Greek, Theogony. Theogony, yeah, that sounds better. And Hesiod, right? Yeah, that's who I'm reading.